Hey everyone, it's that guy over there bringing you another GT list summary for 2015. I know I've got fantasy on the mind, but I mean I want to remain competitive and have options for 40K as well. In the event that I end up going to a 40K GT or just a tournament in the local area, um, just to have something fully painted, competitive, and ready to go. Which I'm almost there. I know I didn't really talk about this. I just posted a Lizardman video, but my Lizardmen, Blood Angels, and Tyranids are pretty much all together. Uh, uh, Painted. Lizardmen lacking behind a little bit, but I commissioned Blood Angels and Tyranids almost, unless I need to add anything, which I'm ready to do. I won't. I won't be commissioning probably, but I'll be painting my own stuff for a little bit. I should be ready to go for this next season. So there's my two goal points are April and June for the GTs that I'd like to attend. So anyway, with that past this, let's move on to the list. I know the picture here you're looking at is a Night Lords guy. Well, my Blood Angels are painted like Night Lords. I really like the Night Lord books. The army that best fit what I felt was the Night Lord tactics is the Blood Angels. It's changed a little bit now that the Assault Marines are no longer troops. So, however, I had a jump pack army. So I had 60 jumpers. I had some Stern Guard in a pod. I had some Death Company just on foot. I had, there's some myriad of special characters, a couple vehicles here and there. A really cool Storm Raven that I converted and sent in to get painted. And it was really great looking. And the army's just spectacular to look at. So anyway, with using the models that I had, I needed to make an 1850 list. So I think my go-to, again, just using the models that I have, I'm not saying this is necessarily the best, but I do think it is a good option, is I've got 10 scouts. Those 10 scouts, it's 5 of them have shotguns, 5 of them are snipers with camel cloaks. It comes out to 125 points. Troop choices, done. And I think that's just going to be the way it is for my army. I'm not sure tactical Marines with now that they have a heavy flamer, maybe that's a good option also. But I'm just looking for something cheap because I want to maximize my jump pack units because obviously that's what I have. So 125 points. I also like to run Mephiston because he can attach to units now. I really like that. And it works out nice. He's 175 points. So if you round all that up, you've got 300 points down. So Mephiston, 10 scouts. 300 points. So my goal is at 1850. So now I'm really looking at what I can use for the rest of it. And maybe this is where some other people can kind of weigh in and see what maybe with what they're doing. But I know I want to max out my Death Company with jump packs because now that they're 23 points each, we're talking something that you could take a lot of and not hurt your army because they're basically a mixture of Khorne Berserkers and Nurgle Marines and Raptors. I say Raptors because they have jump packs, not because they can take any Melta weaponry or anything like that. So, yeah, so they're pretty effective. I really like them having five attacks. They have 2, 3, yeah, so 5 attacks on the charge is pretty awesome. So with whatever points I have left over after I take my essentials is all going to go into those. Now, the units that I'm still kind of throwing my hands up about, repositioning here. So the units I'm still kind of scratching my head over are, do I want to try to fit in Dante? Descent of Angels is gone now, so it's really just kind of a throw up at whether I want to take Dante and my 3 Melta assault squads that can take 2 Inferno pistols on the sergeant, 2 Melta guns in a squad of 5 guys. So that's 4 Melta guns with 5 guys dropping in. I'd have to buy another drop pod, but I could just not take Dante. You can take off their jump packs. They get a free drop pod, and I only have 2 right now, and one of them's not painted, so I'd have to get another one. So maybe 2, 3 of those squads. They're 150 points each though, which is kind of steep. So I'm looking at those. Dante would allow them to deep strike in with a little bit more precision and come in a little bit more reliably, whereas the drop pods would just come in turn 1 automatically. So I've got Assault Squad's Dante, 2 or I say 2. However, I have 3 Vindicators all painted up and ready to go. At 100, I'd give them the Siege Shield and the extra Storm Bolter. The extra Storm Bolter just means on a weapon destroyed result, they only have a 33% chance of losing their main gun because they have 2 Storm Bolters to randomly decide between. And the Siege Shield, they're just shy of 150 points that way too. So, right. So, sorry for break there. So Vindicators. The Vindicators role, I mean, nobody really likes to have, I know people don't think they're that competitive, but nobody likes to have Strength 10 AP2 large blasts raining down on them. It's just not a, it's not good for anyone. So imagine you're playing against a Tau army. They're either going to have a lot of fire warriors hidden there in cover, trying to do some sort of mass strength 5 fire base type army list, or they'll have battle suits. Neither one of those would like to have strength 10 templates raining down on them every turn. So being armor 13 in the front, again, I'm thinking about Tau mostly, but anybody's going to be shooting for those Vindicators because strength 10 hit on vehicles is going to be glancing on 2s most of the time. And so they're going to draw a lot of fire away from the Death Company. And I'm considering running 40 plus jump pack Death Company. And you really have to be shooting them from turn 1. And if any shots that go off of them onto the Vindicator, particularly those high strength, low AP shots that would just kill my guys, is much appreciated because something like a Wave Serpent would die much faster to Death Company than it would to a Vindicator. But maybe they would spare some shots over at the Vindicator, try to whittle those guys down, because glancing on a 2, again, that's something that they got to think about. They'd be fast. I forgot to mention I put the fast upgrade on them, so they can move 12, shoot 24. So I mean, unless they're on their table edge, they're going to be in range. And if I push them back off the table edge, then back to their table edge, then the Vindicators have done their job. So I really want to keep those guys in the list just because they're of the threat. Maybe people won't see them as a threat. Maybe they'll just deploy as normal, completely ignore them. But you got to think that they would do something. Hopefully not scattering back onto my own Death Company, because that'd be really bad. So anyway, there's that. There's and then you get 2 of those guys, and then you can fit in your Storm Raven. And the Storm Raven, I think, is key anti-air. I'm not sure. See, it synergizes so well with Dante because he gets to reroll your flyers, but to come in. But I just don't know if the points make sense, because it's 220 for Dante, 200 for the Storm Raven. You always give him extra armor, because you'd hate to be stunned and then fly into something and crash because you have to move in a straight line and can't be placed and die. So. Right, so those are the elements that I'm looking at going into my list. So probably what I'm going to end up doing is having the Mephiston, my 10 scouts. Those guys are just there to hold objectives. Mephiston, with the new Blood Angel's power, where he can move a unit 12 inches. If I get that, I'm not guaranteed, but if I get that, then he can move and keep up with the... I attach him to Death Company, and he would just be at the end of a tail of them or whatever, until they get close enough to charge something. Then he can make it the rest of the way on his own, or he can cast that power and move up and keep up with everybody. So be thinking 35, 40, anywhere. I can have as many as 48. That's how many models I have. Death Company with jump packs. I have another 11 that I could put in a Land Raider, and I'm not past that because the Storm Raven, mine just looks really cool. That's why I really like it. But a Land Raider alongside 2 Vindicators, that might be pretty effective too. And then I could put Mephiston with his little his Death Company in there, to keep pace with everybody else. And then I could either, depending on what kind of guns my opponent brings, I could put let's say that they go for like a strength 6, like Eldar shooting spam type thing. You could put your Land Raider and your Vindicators up front to take hits, and then all the Death Company behind. But if they have something like, I don't know, something that would have threatened 13 to 14, maybe grav guns or something. Well, grav guns would just be bad in general. I don't know. But anyway, I could alternate that, so I could have Death Company up front to give cover saves behind. Grav guns would kill them just as easy. So that's the way it would go, and it would just be this big ball of lightning bolt power armor going across the battlefield. I'd probably take the Redeemer version because it's just a little bit cheaper, and it's those flame templates. So I'm just imagining a scenario where you've got units that you have to charge, but you don't want to charge, like Tau. So Tau, when you charge them, everything within 6 inches gets to Overwatch. So with the flamers, you can either like with the Vindicators, tank shock to keep people to block line of sight of a unit so they can't Overwatch everything, or with the flamethrowers you can kill them back with out of 6 inches. That way they can't Overwatch everything. So anyway, that's kind of the Tau scenario where you're plowing straight ahead. Eldar, everything's so fast, and I played Wave Serpents in 5th back when they couldn't kill anything but just would never die, and I played a Blood Angel player, and I just couldn't kill his guys fast enough, and they just completely overran me. So that's how I would see the Wave Serpent matchup going, because honestly, it takes like 300 shots to kill 40 Death Company. 300 of the strength 6 shots. That's not including the strength 7 shots, but if they're letting their guard fall down, then their shields to fire them off, then they won't be able to ignore penetrating hits, and I might be able to kill them quicker actually. So yeah, you got that, and then I'm going to factor in some amount of assault squads dropping in. I might just drop it down to 2, one because those are the models I have, and then I don't really have any assault marines without jump packs, so I do have 5, which are partially painted. They're almost done, but then I would have to, and I do have another 5. They're all Raptors, by the way. All my Death Company, they're actually the Chaos Raptor models. I do have 5 of those I haven't built yet, so I could just mix and match those into 2 units of 5, put them in a drop pod, and be good to go. Drop pod each for free. So I might do that just to drop in 4 Meltaguns right in the back of something, because with a drop pod you can't mishap. Drop pods come in immediately for turn 1, and those are really that's key for my Night Titan strategy. So the GT I'm looking at going to, they say you can take Night Titans, but you can't take them as your primary. So I believe that means you're only going to be able to fit in, I'm going to say 3 maximum. You could probably fit 4 in 1850, but if you have a primary detachment of something else, it would be really hard to get more than 3 in, because 3 would be over 1,000 points. So it would be really hard to get more than 3 in. Whereas if not impossible. So I'm looking at it dealing with maximum 3. So if I can drop in with those 8 Meltaguns, plink off a few hull points. I might even get lucky and destroy one. I think it takes. I did the math, and if you have 12 Meltaguns, because I was thinking of taking 3, if you had 3 squads that dropped in, it would do 3 penetrating hits, which, depending on how you rolled, you could get lucky. 8 goes to 4, 4 goes to, let me see, it's so 8, let's say 6, 3, it's about the same. So depending on how you roll, so maybe you wouldn't destroy it, but you would severely weaken one. And if they didn't kill off both squads, then maybe you get another shot at it. So let's just say they take out one. Those other 2, that's why I have the Vindicators with their strength 10 shots, multi-melt on the Land Raider, and then Mephiston, he can go to strength 10, and hopefully he'd be able to take those guys out. I mean, that would be a hard game. That would really be me trying to match strength for strength and to take down the Night Titans. So that'd be pretty difficult, because after Death Company just can't hurt Knight. But hopefully Mephiston with a strength 10 could break through, and then I could just somehow get rid of that third one. So, and then as far as any kind of aggressive list, so I'm thinking, orcs or demons. I just have more attacks, more high quality attacks, and I would be taking that special formation where they would initiative +1 on the charge. They'd be initiative 5. Everything has free charge to strength 5. All kinds of attacks. I mean, I know all 40 wouldn't charge in, but let's say 40 charge in. That means the front units in, like, say it's like Chaos Cornhounds or whatever, would be getting 200 attacks. Now, I mean, weapons go 4, but strength 5, and it'd be pretty nuts. So anyway, I think that's what I'm going for. Some basically what it's going to look like on the table is you're going to just see a sea of jump pack troops, 3 strong vehicles, either Vindicators or probably a Land Raider, I'm thinking at this point, and then some Melta squads that are dropping in behind you. So it just kind of gives you some things to think about. And then, I mean, against flyers, I'm just so tough that you're not going to kill everything with flyers. It's impossible. So anyway, that's what my thoughts for now. Let me know what you think, and like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for your time.